Hi, we just finished meeting for pronunciation practice on Tuesday, May 18th, and we have a lot of words. So, starting with line 3, yard. This needs a good R. So, you have to open ah and curl your tongue back to make a good strong R. Yard. And you don't have to have a good duh at the end unless it's connecting. So, front yard, hold it, backyard, or connecting back. The backyard is muddy, money. The backyard is muddy. Yale. This is kind of strange because when you say yay, you're starting with your tongue in the Y position, and when you say the vowel a, your tongue goes up higher. So yeah, I'm starting high. Yay, yay, and then you slide down for an L. Yale, and then smooth it together. Yale, Yale. And be careful if you're a Spanish speaker that the Y at the beginning doesn't touch. And if your tongue touches the top of your mouth, it'll sound like a J, like jail. It's the same vowel, an L, ale at the end, but this one with a Y, Yale. And with a J, jail. 5, this is crazy spelling. I don't know why, how you could guess pronunciation from looking at it, because it really sounds like this: acre. And a baseball field is about 3 acres. It's the quantity of land. 6, a lot of Americans will say, pronounce this as an I at the beginning because it looks like an I. So Iran. And then others will say Iran. So you usually have all of this Iran, Iran. You usually don't hear it mixed with Iran or Iran. So those don't get mixed up. It's always this or always this, depending on how the person says it. Burrow. Burr is the stressed syllable. Burrow. Rural. This is tricky, but keep your tongue in the R position almost the whole time. Rur. Rural. And then for the roll, it comes up and touches behind the top teeth. But until then, keep it curled in the R position. Rural. Rural. And 9 is much easier. Majority. The vast majority. And kindergarten, you can say 2 ways: kindergarten with a din at the end, or kindergarten with no D. You're just doing garden, making an N, garden. Kindergarten or kindergarten. This bedroom has a dr, so the dr drags against the top of your mouth. Droom. Or if you're not being too careful, you don't hear the dr and just hear bedroom. Very tiny droom. Bedroom. But it's important to have the right vowel, which is e, bed. 12, it could be spelled both ways, but it sounds the same. Cereal, cereal. Civil, the vowel is I, not too high, or it'll sound like civil. So civil. American Civil War. And war sounds exactly the same as I wore this yesterday. Possession. Looks like S's, sounds like a Z. I hear it a lot used with prized with a Z. Prized possession. Cockroach, and plural, cockroaches. Itch, and the vowel is I, because if the tongue is too high, it will sound like each. So remember, this is I, I'm sorry, I as in it and itch, and E, this means your tongue is more high, your jaw is more high. Eat and each are up here. It and itch are down here. It's a tiny difference. Eat, it, each, itch. Those are good ones to practice together. Temporary, temporary. And fulfill. We aren't too careful about the first L, fulfill. It's too difficult, so we skip it. Fulfill. 19 looks like an A, but sounds like an What? It's the sound in up. And what and up have the same vowel. So when you say what's up, it's the same sound. What's up? 20 looks like an A and sounds like an A. Watt, watt. 21, button is most common. And with the T, button. Button, hold it there, button. But 22, you can't shorten it to bottom. You have to say the T's, which change to D's. Bottom, bottom. And 23 can be spelled both ways and it sounds the same. Pray. And the vowel is A. A. Your tongue has to rise. Whatever. I had to look at it twice because I had whatsoever. Whatever. 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 I put stress on the wrong thing. So whatever. 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 Whatsoever. Whatsoever. And fifth is really difficult to make the F, TH, F. So it's skipped a lot. That first F is just skipped and it sounds like fifth. If you want to be totally perfect, fifth, you can, but you don't have to. You can just say fifth. And especially if you're combining it with floor, that's a lot of F's already. Fifth floor. 28, stuff. I have a lot of stuff on my desk. This is the pulled back down stuff. And 29 is staff. Open and the lips are straight. Staff. 28, stuff. 29, staff. And then this little group is very confusing, and it was for me all through grad school. So the only ones, well, not the only, well, the ones I used the most were the verb form with an A, which means it causes change, like the rain affects the growing of flowers. So even though it's spelled with an A, we change that A to an because it's not stressed. So it sounds like affect. But that's exactly the way the verb with an E sounds, affect. And you can also say it perfectly with an E, effect. But most of the time it's not stressed, so people aren't too careful and say effect, they say affect. And if you heard it and didn't have enough context to know the difference between them, then they would sound exactly the same. Affect, affect. And what's even more confusing is that 34 is the noun affect. Sounds exactly the same. And that could be like how something looks, something you can observe. Like I use the example that lighting in that room has a very cool effect, makes the room feel nice. And we had affectation. So if affect is people's emotion, something you can observe, affectation, yeah, is also feelings, putting it to the noun form, but the stress moves to te, affectation. And affection, the stress is on affection. It's very confusing why they're spelled differently, they have different meanings, but then they sound, look at all of these sounding exactly the same. Rescind or rescind. I'm not going to really pronounce the D, it's just going to hold it there, but it's not, the re is not stressed, so it can change to rescind or resend. And 37, resent or resent, but the S is a Z. And however, consciousness, consciousness. And good practice for voiced THs, has voicing here. These, this. And a big difference here is the vowel E in 40. These, your tongue is very high, E, and it's This one, E, these. And this is a little bit lower. These, this, those. And I always use this for practice. I recommend that people practice singular, singular, plural, plural. This, that, these, those. It's good practice. 43, where. It could be spelled like where were we or what are you going to wear? Same. Where. The vowel is air. Were. The vowel is really not any vowel. You're just putting your tongue in the R position and making were. We is E, very high. Where were we? Nowhere. We were nowhere near where we were supposed to be. Um, and it sounds the same here. Nowhere. Do you know where we are? Month. You do need the TH here. Month. And the vowel is month. Excuse me. I'm glad I have a mute button. Um, 49, month. But if you're saying the plural, you don't have to have a good th. You can months, months, or you can skip the th and nobody will notice months. But if it's supposed to be plural, you have to have the s. You can't leave that off. So 6 months ago or 6 months ago. It's a very, very tiny difference. Mediterranean, Mediterranean. Ireland, Ireland. Everywhere, everywhere. And I'm always I'm always contrasting eat and it. But when you say it together, eat it. That T from eat will change to a D and it will sound like eat it. Eat it. 55. Borrow. The vowel is ah, as in hot, borrow. And we were contrasting what's up with WhatsApp. So the app is app, WhatsApp. And filthy, which means very dirty. Your hands are filthy, filthy. Idiot, idiot. Bureau. This is starting in a very high Y position, your, but putting a B at the beginning. Bureau. Halfy, half, no L. Calf, no L. And then my dog, black mouth cur. Thank you. I'm glad you could come. And if not, I hope to see you another time. Have a good day.